Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I see that some people are still connecting, so we'll just give it a minute here. But we're really excited to have you be a part of our ECOSOC side event, specifically as SDG 7 is one of the goals that is under review in 2026. So we're really excited to have this conversation at such a critical moment for the 2030 agenda. So this year's forum really calls for transformative, equitable, and innovative and coordinated action on the SDGs. And SDG 7 is one of the five goals that they're really analyzing its progress and access across the world. So today we're going to have an exciting conversation on how education is one of the accelerators of SDG 7. And really, education shapes the skills, mindsets, and leaderships needed to drive the energy transition. Specifically, we're going to hear from three outstanding panelists. Rocio Mian, who's the Senior Project Manager of STEM programs at Siemens Energy. We're also going to hear from Alba Rodriguez, who's the Director of Educational Innovation at Possible Lab. And we're also going to hear from Lucia Vasquez, who's the Education Consultant for the Schools for Goal 7 program. So we have really three objectives today is first to really understand and explore how education can meaningfully contribute to accelerating SDG 7. Also to showcase the work of planet rescuers and schools for Goal 7 in practice, from teacher capacity building, also innovative gamified learning and different approaches to teach energy in the classroom, and also to highlight models of partnership and collaboration between SDSN, Siemens Energy, and Possible Lab, and really thinking how we can use partnerships to really support youth and have local solutions really come to the forefront. So we're very excited to have you today. And without further ado, we will get into our agenda. So I will start with introducing our first speaker. All right. So our first speaker, as I mentioned, is going to be Rocio Mian. So she's from Siemens Energy as a senior project manager for STEM programs. And her work is very extensive, but really working specifically on STEM education and innovation to support the next generation of talent. So first, we're going to hear her perspective on really what it takes to accelerate SDG 7 through partnerships and why Siemens Energy is really investing in education as part of the solution. So over to you, Rocio.
Thank you very much, Amanda, and thank you all for being here today. It's really, and to be with the other panelists, it's really an honor for me. Why is it so important for a company to promote STEM education, to promote education in general, and in our case, STEM education? Well, as the name of this initiative, School for SDG 7, the SDG 7, that is, stands for ensuring access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all, defines our mission as a company. No, we are a technological company, and our role is to drive innovation in energy production and management. So, but the main thing, if we really want to create prosperity through this access of electricity and clean cooking, for example, around the world, and also to have renewable energy to decarbonize the energy system. After all, the energy in general, not only through electricity, is accountable for the 70% of the CO2 that is emitted in the world. The first thing is that we need to have the talent to make these a reality, to achieve the SDG 7, but also to combat climate change. No, that is the goal 13 of the Agenda 2030. So to have that, for us, it's something that has become really critical, and we're not the only one. It's that need of new talent. Why do we need those new talents? First, because we're living now in a technology-driven society and world, and especially the economy. So we will need a lot of future talent to make this possible, to make sure that we achieve all the possibility that this rapid changing world is bringing. But STEM will still see that students are not too interested in STEM. They are when they're very young, but after they lose that interest. So we have to make sure that we have that talent. We have another problem, all the industry in general, is that we have an aging workforce, sorry, and that is producing that it's even making this gap bigger. So as a company, it is very important to promote STEM. And to promote STEM, we wanted to do since the beginning in a very engaging way. And being a company that has a presence worldwide, we thought that we could take advantage of that presence, but also about the expertise of our different employees around the world. We needed these new talents. We needed to prepare the talent in universities, for example, but we also needed to reskill the people that were already in the workforce, but needed to adapt quickly to this changing world, as I was saying, no? So we started very, very early in having discussion with SDSN. And the reason why we were having that conversation with SDSN is that they had a very strong position among universities and think tanks. They were leading the way in that sense. They also had a very important place in younger generation education. So that made them especially interesting for us. And we wanted, that, that's why we were interested in SDSN, but how we saw since the beginning what our role could be in education was to transmit what we knew the best. The best was obviously energy. In that case, at that moment, I was still with Siemens Gamesa, that is the wind energy part. And we thought that we could really try to attract the people that were not interested in STEM by telling them that STEM, after all, are the way to fight climate change, because I haven't met yet any young person who doesn't believe in climate change. That is one of the first, let's say, priority, not priority, but concern. No? They're very, very aware of all the consequences that our decision in our day-to-day life can have on the climate. So we immediately thought that we can attract them with a message. You are interested in fighting climate change, so why don't you come towards the solution? Why aren't you part of the solution? And that was a little bit how we started in 2020. And when we started to define what was going to be our roadmap, we thought that having this experience in renewable energy, we could really, really try to bring the kids towards, and the older generation towards what we wanted. So with university was our first contact with SDSN. We started to talk with them in 2020 when everybody was confined, and we started to think of how can we attract young people to those careers, no? And we thought, well, the best way is, as I was saying before, to make them part of the solution, to put them an effective, to teach how complex things, they could be the solution to these complex things through the help of our experts. And at the same time we were having those conversations, we also were starting to think that we were seeing all those students that suddenly had to leave the classroom and were confined in their home. And we thought that maybe that was an opportunity also as a company. What can we bring to them? And the only way we could bring to them at that moment was through the internet, through digital solution. And we thought that maybe the way to go touch them and to teach those young people how to be interested in STEM and in energy was by talking the language with a video game. I was in the past, before I started to work as a journalist and after working with Siemens Energy, I was in education. And something that I learned since the beginning by teaching is that I could attract my students more and make them understand what I wanted to convey to them better if they were engaged and they were having fun. So we thought that a video game could be the way to go, to bring them very complex educational content in a fun and attractive way. So that is basically what the start of this experience was. At the beginning, we were thinking what could be the best way, the best video game. And one thing that we saw, we wanted to make a difference. There's a million of video games that are developed by different companies, but they're usually very entertaining things. You play it once and you go. What we wanted is really to reflect the reality of the energy world. Not only all renewables are great, just bet for renewables. The reality of renewables is that we still need to have, because they cannot be still the only solution. We need to have other ways to provide electricity to everywhere. So we wanted to be very honest with the students. We wanted to teach them the challenges, but also the opportunities in a language that they could easily understand and in a way that would be attractive. So we started to think about a longer version, but we also wanted to have, let's say, the engaging part. So we immediately thought that Minecraft, not immediately, it took us a while until we thought about Minecraft. And we thought that Minecraft was a solution for it because every student that I think of has played or have heard about Minecraft. And there was a very easy way to track them. So that's a little bit, maybe I took more time than I should have to explain to you how a company like Siemens Gamesa at the beginning and now Siemens Energy, why we decided to be part of education. First, because we need the talent. Second, because we think that through our expertise we can make a difference. And third, because we just cannot ignore our role and our responsibility for the next generation and to the challenges that are ahead of us.
Thank you so much, Rocio, for giving us that wonderful overview, not only of the strategic priorities, but the whole background and how you've gotten to this point and the partnership with SDSN. I think that's so great to see and set the context for the rest of the conversation today. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Mhm. I'm moving on to our next speaker, Alba Rodriguez, but we will have the opportunity to have a question and answer and hear back from our other panelists. So Alba, Rocio mentioned Minecraft education and also Planet Rescuers. And I'd love to hear a little bit from you on this partnership and how you've been brought into this collaboration, and really specifically how gamified and interactive learning really make SDG 7 accessible for students.
Thank you, Amanda. Um, Thank you for the time. So I'm sure that as educators, many of us have asked ourselves this question: how can games and interactive learning help students understand clean energy and feel motivated to take action? When we talk about teaching the energy transition, we are not just teaching content. We are teaching students how to understand complex systems, how to make decisions, and how to take responsibility in uncertain context. From a pedagogical perspective, this is a challenge. In this case, clean energy concepts are complex, interconnecting, and often abstract for students. So traditional approaches are not always enough to help students truly understand them. This is where gamified and interactive learning becomes powerful, not as a motivational trick, but as a learning methodology. In well-designed gamified experiences, students learn by doing. They collaborate, discuss options, test ideas, make mistakes, and reflect on outcomes. This process naturally develops key skills such as problem solving, collaboration, leadership, and critical thinking. In this case, Planet Rescuers has designed with this pedagogical intention from the very beginning, as Rocio said before. As an educational experience, it places students at the center of the learning process. They are not observers, they are decision makers. They are the protagonists of the challenge. So the challenges students face are based on real energy dilemmas. There is no single correct answer. Instead, students must balance renewable energy choices, environmental impact, cost, social needs. So appear a lot of different topics that are very common for them in their daily lives. This helps them understand that the energy transitions involves trade-offs and complex decisions. Is not a simple idea. Also, it's important to take a mention of Minecraft education. The choice of Minecraft education is also a pedagogical decision. Minecraft education is a learning environment that the students already understand as soon as they prove it. It lowers the entry barriers and allows students to focus on thinking, not on learning how to use the tool. Minecraft education, because it's very important that we decide to choose the educational version, also supports experiential and project-based learning. Students can explore, build, test solutions, and collaborate in shared spaces. This makes abstract energy concepts intangible and visible. So for students, in some cases, is magic because it's possible to build the thoughts in your mind in a real world. In Planet Rescuers, the game world becomes a learning space. Students experiment with energy solutions, see the consequences of their actions, and discuss their decisions as a team. The role of the teacher here is essential because the teacher guiding reflection, asking questions, and connecting gameplay to real-world energy challenges. So another, the key pedagogical element is global collaboration. Students from the schools in different countries face similar challenges and compare their decisions. They learn that energy solution depends on local context and realities. This helps students develop global awareness, empathy, and a deeper understanding of equity, all core components of energy literacy. So, from a learning design perspective, the game is built around clear learning objectives. Gameplay is combined with discussions, reflection, and analysis. The game is not the final goal, it's the starting point for deeper learning because this is our aim as teachers. And gamified learning, when designed with intention, helps students move from awareness to understanding and then to take action. So as educators, this is exactly the kind of learning experience we need to support the energy transition and advance in SDG 7. So I think that is a great opportunity to introduce this kind of resources in our classroom nowadays.
Thank you so much, Alba, for that, for specifically sharing your role in developing in collaboration the Planet Rescuers Minecraft education game and how it really supports active pedagogy and energy literacy. And we're really excited to ask you even some more questions from the technical side as we get into the rest of the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now I'll move on to Lucia to kind of share with us how this all comes together under the umbrella of SDSN and the Global Schools Program, how we're bringing, teacher training and Minecraft Education Planet Rescuers on SDG 7 to our network. So Lucia, I'll ask you, what does Schools for Goal 7 look like in practice as an initiative, and what do students gain in terms of skills and competencies throughout the program?
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you all of you for participating, and thank you, Rocío and Alba, because we are a great team working together for SDG 7, and they have a lot of sensibility, and it's a privilege to work with them. I'm gonna just share a few slides to give you a general overview of how this program looks like. So this program that started in 2024 has been designed with three components that I will be showing you later. But after thinking about what makes this program unique and working on SDG 7, we think there is three elements that make the program unique. First, it is a multidisciplinary program and very interactive, as Alba was saying, with Minecraft education and hands-on projects also. But it's not a program only for disciplines focused on science. As Rocío was mentioned, STEM is a huge part of the program. Is the methodology that we use, but we also have integrated the A of STEAM, the A of arts and humanities. So every teacher from every discipline can be part of the program. It is also an action-oriented and solution-focused because of, again, Rocío was mentioning, we need talent for the future. We really need to close that gap that she was mentioning. And also it is a global community and collaboration, because every teacher is going to get a very rich experience by sharing different solutions and different inspiring examples from other teachers, because this is a worldwide program. So these three components are first, an online training teacher, because we need the teacher needs to be trained in SDG 7 and how to integrate it into the classroom in order to be able to teach all the skills and abilities and competencies to the students. So we have designed a 15-hour online course for educators from all over the grades, since 8 years old until 18 years old, with access to resources, video, interactive maps, and many practical exercises and example all over the world. Then we also have educational resources. We have launched 3 guides that you can find in our web, in the Global Schools web page. One is about the renewable energy and the energy transition, and the other one is about greening STEAM education, or how to work with STEAMs and the SDGs. So this first guide on renewable energy and the energy transition has 2 parts. We have 2 different, you're going to find, when you go to the webpage, you're going to find 2 different PDFs. One is more theoretical, where all the topics on energy transition, what is net zero, what are the renewable energy sources, and why it is important to make this transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy, are explained with a lot of resources, links to data, to graphics, and so on. And then you will find an activities overview, a toolkit where you have activities classified by colors, from more for beginners to more advanced learners, all kind of activities around SDG 7 and the energy transition. And then you have the STEAM guide, and the STEAM guide has also two parts. One is more theoretical, where we make this link on the SDGs and the STEAM methodology, and also create like a roadmap on how to integrate the SDGs in a STEAM lesson plan. But then also you're gonna find in the webpage some lesson plans on STEAM and SDGs designed by our teachers from our Global Schools Network, on SDG 7, but also on other SDGs focusing on STEAM. So after the online training course, using these educational resources and implementing this activity into the classroom, the teachers that are enrolled in the program can start playing Planet Rescuers from Minecraft Education, as Ava was explaining us, for 10 weeks. So they're going to play for 10 weeks with their students the 8 worlds within the Planet Rescuers. We also have hands-on projects. So for that, there's different activities that you can find, as I was mentioning in the SDG 7 guide, that can be done not online, but in the in-person school or events, competition, challenges. And some of our teachers participating in the program have already implemented. So Amanda was also asking about what students are going to learn, what skills are going to get. We are trying to measure the success of the program in different ways. We have this huge survey that we conducted before and after the teachers are participating in the online training course. But also we have another survey about how the students are going to incorporate their skills that they have learned playing Minecraft, playing Planet Rescuers. So having all this data analyzed, the conclusions for the first year, because now we are in the second year program, but for the first year are that after participating in the program, 98% of the educators feel very confident in integrating SDG in their classroom. 80% of them have used our educational resources, and 70% of the students had experienced a considerable improvement in their comprehension of the different forms of renewable energy. So last year we have 58 educators and more than 1,000 students from 29 countries participating and completing the program. This year we are overwhelmed, and I'm very, very happy because we have 131 educators from 57 countries, including including our program in Spanish. We have the same program that is taking place in the Spanish language. And I know some of you I have seen that some of the participants in this webinar are part of this Spanish cohort. So this is I think, Amanda, a general overview of the Schools for Goals of the program.
Thank you so much, Lucia. I'm really, really excited to see all of that and have it come together, and excited about the next cohort and our Spanish cohort that we're having right now. I see some questions in the chat about this, and maybe just to address this. Yes, we are in cohort 2 of schools for goal 7. And I put email there if you're interested in seeing if it's not too late to join cohort 2. So you can send an email to globalschools@unsdsn.org. So the email is in the chat. All right, thank you so much to our 3 panelists. We're going to move into a quick question and answer period. I have some questions for them, but also we'll open some questions in the chat. Before that, I want to share 2 testimonial videos that we have from educators that have participated in the program. So let me just quickly share my screen. So the first video is from Richard Bello from Nigeria, who's part of our educators committee and also participated in cohort 1.
My name is Richard Bello from Nigeria. We started on renewable energy and the energy transition.
Apologies, I'm going to restart the video. Give me 1 second.
Amanda, you're not sharing anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to restart it.
Sustainable living.
Okay, I think I'm having a technical difficulty, so we'll move into the questions and I'll show it after the questions.
Okay.
And raise renewable energy.
All right.
Part of the energy transition.
Rocio to ask her our first question here that we have for her. And I'll show the videos afterwards while I figure out my technical difficulties, and I do apologize for that really briefly. So Rocio, I'd really like to turn it back over to you to hear about really why this is an innovative form of partnership for Siemens Energy. And to add a little bit more about how you see this collaboration going forward.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to say I can see Marta Garcia de Aro, who is here today with us. She's also a partner with the University for Gold 13. And that a little bit, when you were asking me, what makes the success of this collaboration? I think the main success, let me go a little bit backwards when we started. We did not have a lot of funds. Our budget was very little. So we really had to be very imaginative and to try to find a way to make it happen. So we were lucky enough that we found people like SDSN, that we started to work together. We went beyond our role in the sense that we were thinking, I think that what makes a difference in University for Goal 13 and also for Goal 7 is that we know very well our role. At least in our case, we knew that we were not there to replace the teachers. The teachers need to be part of the solution. We all want to do the best for the students. And we really found with SDSN that interaction in which they were an important voice of the educational world. We wanted to advance and do together, and also with Alba that you met before when we were creating the video game, to hear the voice of the teachers and the students. I think that is basically when you try to be successful coming from a company, is to go with some humility when you want to help, in the sense that usually the others know better, and that's a good way to start. So I will say that that was maybe the recipe for our success here. And we also were happy, we were lucky also to find a good reception in everything we've been doing. No, I think that probably because we worked with people that are not only big NGOs, but also they really in touch with the challenges ahead of us. No.
Yeah, I think I agree with you that there's been very positive reception across the board to all of the projects that we've collaborated with you on and Siemens Energy. So it's really been great to see the turnout. I'll go over to Alba, so I'll do a round of questions and then get the videos back. So we will see the videos. So Alba, from your perspective, really, designing this game and thinking about how to translate it to Minecraft education, how do you translate the complexity of the energy transition into the game without making it too simple?
The key, I think, in this case, I talk like a teacher. The key is not to simplify the topic, but to simplify the entry point. So how to transmit the contents in the classroom. As educators, we know that complexity is not the problem. The problem is how the students access it. So in this case, in Planet Rescues, complexity is preserved by design. Students don't face isolate concepts, but interconnecting challenges. Every decision involves trade-offs between environmental impact, cost, feasibility, and social needs. There is no correct solution built into the game that I said before. Instead, students must justify their choices, negotiate with others, and reflect on consequences. This mirrors real-world decision-making in the energy transition. From a pedagogical perspective, gameplay becomes a safe space to explore this complex and this mysterious situation. Students can test ideas, make mistakes, and learn from them without fear of failure. And that I said before, the role of the teacher is essential here when you decide to use game in your classroom. The game doesn't replace teaching; it supported reflection, discussion, and guide questions help students connect gameplay to the real energy system. In this way, we translate complexity into experience. Into experience students don't just learn about the energy transition, they learn how to think with it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I really love that approach, and it's really great to hear from you as, one of the people that was leading the design. So thank you for sharing that perspective. Over to Lucia for a question for you. So we've gone through cohort 1 of this program and we're in cohort 2. So from the facilitation side, what barriers do you see schools are facing with implementing SDG 7 and how does the Global Schools Program and our partners support them?
Well, I was mentioning we have this survey that we conducted, and for us it was very useful. It is very useful because we can hear from the teachers what are the real barriers. And after analyzing the barriers, we could say there are mainly three of them. The first one is the lack of training. There is a lot of teachers from different disciplines that maybe you have science teachers that have to teach energy and renewable energy or climate change, but a teacher from the arts or from English, an English department, is not ready to teach SDG 7, or he or she feels that it's not ready. So the first barrier is the lack of training. One, as we were seeing in the data that I was showing before, once they have this training, they feel confident enough to teach from any discipline, basic principles of the SDG 7, and mainly how this is important and why this is important for fighting climate change. So I will say lack of training. The other barrier that they mention is lack of time, because it's hard to integrate in the curricula. Lack of time and difficulty to integrate it in the curricula that it's already or sometimes a little bit rigid. That's why we are trying to create a program that has enough flexibility to become more organic and can be integrated in any discipline. So lack of time, lack of training, and difficulty for integrating this into the curriculum, I will say, are the main barriers that the teachers are facing today. But see, from Schools for Goal 7, we are trying to first put the teachers in the center, because we believe that they need to be the believers of the SDGs and the SDG 7. And we have, like Rocio was mentioning, she herself is a teacher, and this is a privilege from having a partner that really understands that the teacher has to be the center. The teacher has to be the center of the program. So we try to guide them. We try to give them a very tailor-made assistant, so they can feel that they are listened, that they are that we take care of them, because they have so many things and so many. The day by day of a teacher it's not easy. It's busy, let's say. So we are trying to make this program very flexible, very helpful, very practical, and mainly that they feel they have fun with the students, and they feel they feel supported by us. And finally, I will say that one thing that maybe I didn't mention before is, and Rocio was mentioning at the beginning, that this connection with real life solution and the real life world, it's a main part also. And we, in that aspect, we are planning a green job symposium, to show students and teachers how all this that they are learning and integrating in the classroom can be a potential work for tomorrow, that they can really they can have a real job, and they can work on this energy field, and that the energy field need people with talent, multidisciplinary, and a very esteemed person, I will say.
Thank you so much, Lucia. One other thing to mention that also goes with a comment in the chat is we have an educators committee that has been supporting us throughout this whole process, really to ensure that there's, different perspectives. Rocio, I saw you unmuted. Did you want to add on to this?
Oh no, just the last thing that Lucia was commenting. No, it is because we always talk about STEM, but really it's more about this concept of STEAM. No, it's not only what you learn about science, technology, etc. It's also these kind of programs help, even if you're not interested in STEM, in developing other skills like problem solving, no, and critical thinking that are actually so important nowadays. So that's all I wanted to say. I thought that what she was saying was really important to underline.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I see we have some questions in the chat, so we'll get to those in a minute, but I figured out the video, so we are going to share the videos, and apologies for the earlier technical difficulties. So the first video is from Richard Bello, who participated in cohort 1 from Nigeria and is now on our educators committee, and I think I saw him also on the call.
My name is Richard Bello from Good News Seed Academy International, Ile-Ife, Nigeria. I recently participated in the School for Goal 7 teacher training on renewable energy and the energy transition. This training was truly eye-opening experience for me. I learned practical ways to integrate renewable energy concepts into teaching, especially how to make science interactive and relevant to real-life challenges. As part of my training, I developed a lesson plan to help my students understand solar box cookers. This we will practically build as soon as the rain ceases in my part of the world. We intend building from cartons, foil paper, and glass sheets. This will not only teach my children science concepts, but also raise their awareness about clean energy solutions for sustainable living. I'm very grateful to the organizers, Global Schools Program, and Siemens Energy for this opportunity. I look forward to using what I have learned to inspire my students and the community to embrace renewable energy and be part of the energy transition. Thank you.
So hopefully you were able to hear that. I know it might have been a little bit frozen, but that was one testimonial from Richard Bello from Nigeria. And I'll share one more testimonial from Nuf Yusuf, who is in Saudi Arabia, who also was part of our educators committee.
Hello, I'm Nof Youssef, and I'm proud to have been part of the Global Schools Teachers Committee for Schools for Goal 7. Together, we developed the Green STEAM Education Guide and the Schools for Goal 7 Guide, and integrated the Planet Rescuers initiative using Minecraft education to create an interactive world where students can explore sustainability and clean energy concepts. We also train new teachers on how to use Minecraft education as a learning and assessment tool, helping them track students' understanding, engagement in real time. Through these hands-on activities, we supported teachers in applying innovative strategies and inspired students to take meaningful action for renewable energy and climate solutions. Being part of this initiative has empowered both educators and students to make real difference, and I'm excited to see the program continue to grow and have an even greater impact in the future.
So we thank you so much to our educators committee who has helped us really shape a lot of this work, as well as to all of our partners that have of course been involved in this as well. I'm going to go to some of the questions in the chat. So we'll let our panelists know. So there are some questions about being a part of this program and this project. So I shared an email in the chat. I'll reshare it, but feel free to reach out to the Global Schools Program. We've already started cohort 2, but we can see if there's a possibility for you to join cohort 2. You have to be an educator working specifically in a school with students, and we can share all of that eligibility criteria with you. So we'll reshare the email. There's another question about the fee for Planet Rescuers. So if you have Microsoft licenses in your school, you can use Planet Rescuers. And please correct me if I'm wrong, Alba, but if you're participating in Schools for Goal 7, we support you and facilitate you with the licenses and your playtime. I think those are the main questions, is how to join, actually. I'm looking here. There's one question on how we collaborated with stakeholders. We talked about that a little bit. Does any of the panelists want to take that question on how we collaborated with stakeholders in creating the different aspects of this project?
If you want, I can answer that. Okay.
Mhm.
So how did we arrive to that? It's basically it has been a part of the we took, and maybe Alba could tell you more about that, specifically about the curriculum. We make sure that all the content was aligned with the main curriculum to make sure that everything could be immediately incorporated in the classroom. Interaction with SDSN, as I said at the beginning, was part of our of a long collaboration. And as I was saying, we are now very proud to say that we work with the School for Goal 7 for the youngest one, the University for Goal 13 for the university students, and now we're going to start working on a reskilling. And basically, as we arrive to different places, I can say that our local officers are very happy to see the success that we're having in different parts of the world, because one thing that we still see, it's a lot of disparities geographically among resources that arrive for STEM education. So I don't know if I respond exactly what you were expecting, but if somebody wants to add something to what I said.
Perfect. Does anyone else want to add on to that? All right, that's okay. If no one wants to add on to it, I have just one more, few more quick questions for our panelists. Then on my side, if we don't see any in the chat. But Alba, I want to send a question on your end. Students, I was a teacher myself. Students are constantly seeing different media, and they have different types of attention spans. So can you tell us what really makes Planet Rescuers truly and genuinely engaging? And how do you balance making it super fun, but also ensuring that they learn?
Yes, okay. Today, but nowadays, is terrible the amount of information that we receive in different via in a short period of time. So it's very important that we generate solutions for this. So in this case, I think that engagement does not come from entertainment alone. It's come from relevance, agency, and meaning. As Rocio says, is critical. The meaning. Planet Rescuers is engaging because students are active participants, not passive users. So they make decisions, work in teams, and see the impact of their actions. This creates a sense of responsibility that goes beyond playing a game. Also, the choice of Minecraft education is also intentional. It is a familiar environment for students with reduced cognitive load, and they can focus on thinking and collaborating rather than learning how the tool works. So, from a learning design perspective, fun is not added on top of learning. Fun emerges from challenges, exploration, and collaboration. So the game mechanics always serve a learning objectives. Balance is achieved being very clear about purpose. If a mechanic doesn't support learning, in it doesn't belong in the experience. So when students feel that their idea matter and their decisions have consequences, motivations follow naturally. So this is how planet rescues remain both engagement and meaningful. So both things work together in the experience.
Mhm. And Alba, there's a quick follow-up question that just came into the chat. How have you seen gamified learning in general influence like behavior change in students? Have you seen them actually taking action through participating in Minecraft or other gamified approaches?
Uh, yes, because that I said use Minecraft have an intention. So to to share this opportunity with the students is a good way to transmit this engagement for real problems and real topics. So this is the best option to change their mind and see these changes in their actions. So it's a ideal tool to try to improve this change role to try to be new maker decisions and the main character of their life. So yes, I see the change in their minds.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So we're coming to the end of our time here. And I would love if every panelist would give us some quick 1 minute final last words to the group that we have online. I see a lot of teachers and educators in the chat, which is wonderful. So I would love to hear maybe one last piece of, advice or inspiration you might have for the teachers today on teaching the energy transition and really inspiring young people to take action. So whoever would love to go first on just your 1 minute last words, that would be wonderful.
I'll go first. I would say do local things. I mean, think globally, but try to look around your community, see the needs that they have, and try to contextualize all the work that you are doing in the classroom in your local area, because it's going to have way more sense if they can connect this global issue, which is climate change and renewable energy, with the needs and the challenges of their community, of their local context, and they're gonna see also the solution in a very fast way.
Thank you so much, Lucia. Would anyone like to jump in next?
Well,
Rocio?
but if you want, I go next. But then I will say that this generation is really living difficult times. Global climate change is really the first global challenge. But I hope that with that you can convey in the classroom what we try to show with this initiative and the others is that they could be the solution. They have the power to be the solution and to inspire them, and while inspiring them to have fun with it, especially fun.
Yeah, I think that's so important when we talk about, ESD with the teachers in our network, making it active, making it fun, and connecting it to the real world. So thank you for that advice to the group. Alba, over to you.
Yes, and I totally agree with Lucia and Rocío. I think that this is the core of these kind of programs. So to sum up, I would like to say that Planet Rescuers shows that when students play, they don't just learn about energy, they learn that their choices matter and have the option to change the world that they live. And as a teacher, it's in our hand to bring these kinds of experiences into the classroom and offer students new ways to learning. So I think that is a great opportunity to try to start with this kind of new resources and new methodologies in our classroom.
Thank you, Alba. I think that was wonderful advice. So, firstly, just to conclude here, I think this is a really great conversation to have on SDG 7, especially this year, bringing it back to the first themes that this is an SDG that's under review, and there's many different ways we can approach SDG 7 from the technical perspective, but also from engaging young people and preparing them for the future, which is really a lot of the work that we're doing across the board. So that's really, really exciting to have everyone on. I want to say a thank you to all of our panelists for their time, for their efforts, for everything that they're doing in their personal and professional careers on really pushing forward sustainable development. I also want to say thank you to my intern, Iman Farouk, for helping us with some behind the scenes activities to get this event all set up today. So thank you as well, Iman. And just to say, we thank you everyone for your time, for listening to us, and for engaging with us today on this topic. If you are interested in using these resources, please reach out to the Global Schools team. They are, all of the guides are free and available on our website. However, if you want to join the specific cohorts and the groups that are working on this project together, please email globalschools@unsdsn.org. Finally, there was a question about connecting with us. I believe we're all on LinkedIn, so you can feel free to follow us on LinkedIn. I think that's probably the best way to stay in contact with what everyone is doing across their organizations. So thank you, everyone, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you again to our panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. We'll
Thank
see you on our
you.
next session.
You too. Happy to hear from you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Have a nice
Bye.
day.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Peace.